Good morning. Welcome to another Mindfulness Monday. Today I'm very in my feelings, and these feelings are telling me, and I have to share this with you. I'm a nurse and I work weekends, 12-hour shifts, and I'm usually in charge, which is hard enough when you have a full load of an assignment. You're not only responsible for you and your patients, but you're responsible for the whole floor and what happens to the safety and the flow of the floor and what comes to your floor and leaves your floor. And it has to be in the highest and safest way. So I carry a lot of stress when I go to work. And most nurses are going to absolutely 100% agree with me that there is a design flaw. There's a chink in the chain that is going to break the system. And the problem is monetizing the hospital. And I know that the hospital needs money to run, but it is not a business so much that it's a detriment to our clients, our patients. And we're a learning hospital too. So you have to take that into consideration, that people are on the job training to be the best doctors that they can be, to be the best nurses that they can be. And sometimes they don't achieve that. They don't achieve that because they're not listening to the seasoned veterans that have been here forever, that we know our patients like the back of our hands. And we, as the charge nurses and the nurses, are taking this emotional burden and responsibility and coming in exhausted and angry. And we try to advocate so strongly for our patients. The system fails. The system fails so much. There's so many times this weekend where I literally have to be yelling at doctors and care providers to just take care of their patients appropriately. And it's so complicated because we're here for the benefit of the people. We're here for them, not to be a business, to make money. And don't get me wrong, I love the money that I earn. I work very hard for that. I've worked hard for my nursing license. But nurses are getting burnt out because nobody's backing us. Nobody's standing behind the ones that are fighting for the right things, for the patients, for the clients. And we're taking this emotional burden and we're bringing it home. And it is affecting our life because we are just a small person on the totem pole. We can yell and scream and advocate for our patients as strongly as we want to, but until somebody fixes the whole overall system, the nurses are becoming emotionally exhausted and drained. And I find myself being angry every time I go to work. And it's a place that I love to be. I love to take care of my patients. They get the very best of me. There has to be a point where a collaboration needs to be done. A collaboration needs to be made. Spirit says you cannot be the hero in this journey. You have to stand on that soapbox and you have to keep yelling until somebody is paying attention and change is made. But you can't make the change. You're the gonging bell. You're the one that's bringing attention to everything. Change has to be made with the higher ups, and they have to be made with patients. But unfortunately, when the patients are dissatisfied and they write that into the hospital, the nurses get the brunt of that. The nurses are the ones that are the top line of defense to protect the patient, to do all the work of the unit. The doctors come in for 5 minutes maybe. Okay, they do the surgeries, they issue the medications. Well, they don't, we do, they order it. We watch for signs and symptoms. So we are doing the frontline work, okay? But we're carrying this burden that nobody cares about these people except for us. Why is that? Why does it have to be? This is a shared burden. This should be a priority in a healthcare facility and in a floor and in the top line of the manager's mind, not how to punish the nurses because we're working understaffed and we're being forced to hold higher acuity patients, which means that they're high risk and it's demanding of more time, and you have to be in everybody's room and every hour you have to take care of everything, and you have to chart all that too. And then we have to make sure that we are documenting to cover our behinds, okay? So nurses leave every day thinking, did I do enough for my patient? But did I also protect myself from any liability or lawsuit? And did I advocate enough? Did this patient get everything that they needed? Spirit says the burden is not yours to carry. It's not yours alone to carry. This is a collaboration, and we have to stop having this hero mentality. Not that we want to. We feel like we have to. We feel like it's forced. But having this hero mentality is not changing the system. We have to advocate to change the system. What exactly do we need? Write it down. Collaborate with your immediate next level manager and put it in their hands and express the total dissatisfaction of the patients and the nurses. And it's not the nurse's fault that we can't get everywhere. We are overburdened. We are overworked. We are over emotionally burdened. And it's time for a change. Spirit says, pass that on. Don't hold the pain, the suffering, the emotional damage any longer. You are not in a position to make the change. You have to take it to somebody that can. And those of you who are not nurses, your lesson is it is not your job to take on everybody's emotional burdens. It is not your emotional burden. Please pull yourself out of positions of being the savior and save your emotional equilibrium and do what you can when you can. It is not your job to take care of everybody else. I hope that makes sense. Have a great day.